Aquarius. If you see anything move at all, just know that my little kitty, one of my kitties, is right here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him, as he is an Aquarius too, and how he just started coming into these readings about a month ago. Before we get into it, all information to work with me is below, including the extended version of this reading. It will be in the first link below. That's where you can catch it. And so he just started like laying across the table. He loves, he's one of those cats that loves my computer, loves my cards, loves my journal, just lays on it. So last month he just kept coming into the readings. He's not a super cuddly cat all the time. He is sometimes, but he likes to be around, very Aquarius, like not overly affectionate with you, only on his terms. That's just the kind of kitty he is, and he's looking at me right now. And he's just a curious, and he's a sweet little cat. He's also extremely playful. Not afraid to take up all the space on the table. And how that can relate to you this month. Okay. So the first card's out. And the reason why I say all that is because sometimes we really don't see like ourselves until we see someone else with the same sign, or maybe even an animal with the same sign, or an animal we relate to start acting a certain way, and you're like, oh my god, like that makes sense. And this, let me tell you why this is a positive thing. So if you see it in a positive way, then maybe you become unafraid to talk about it. You become unafraid to ask for it. You become unafraid to, and very willing to understand what that looks like to get what you want, or for more good to start happening. Maybe you start playing with manifestation more in terms of what you really desire this month. This month, maybe you will certain things into existence easily, or ask for things and they come to you easily. But just know that this month is, with the retrograding, and we'll get more into that into the second part. But you can see here that this is followed by, are you sure you want this? Right? The saying, be careful. He's laying right here. That's why I'm looking over here. Be careful what you ask for is really pertinent right now, especially for you. Sorry, switching it up a little bit. It's really pertinent for you right now. And what I would say is that you understand that this may be coming from the Sun and Venus, Mercury right now. As of right now, by the time this comes out, it will be changing. Maybe sitting across from you. But this is also just about intuitively. It's you realizing you may need to give more and pay more attention to, okay, you asked for it, but then what do you do when you have it? What do you do with it when you have it? Whether it's the career or the relationship or the home or the thing or the clothes, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, or the creation. What do you do when you have it? And it's like, maybe you've never been taught what to do. Maybe you don't know where this goes from here. Maybe you find it in you that you realize that maybe you need to speak about these things, that maybe your thoughts are really important, that your doubts, what you think about, how you express yourself, all of these different ways in which has been maybe hidden or hidden behind why maybe things go as far as like getting frustrated or into arguments or disagreements about certain things. Well, it's especially when things start to go good, it's because, and it can be because the communication doesn't just stop there. You don't just ask for it, get it, and then it ends, right? There's a continuous thing that happens here, and what's obvious is that you need to, or you can be willing to give, but maybe you're only giving from a place because it's been pointed out to you. And then you may find yourself, and if you do find yourself becoming doubtful of that, or becoming doubtful of wherever you're going forth with this cup, as with the Knight of Cups, and where this is coming from, where is it coming from, right? If it's coming from doubt or fear of losing, or an inability to give to your future, or give to the parts of you, give to the people, give to that person, give to that, back to that thing that just willingly came to you, or putting it into whatever hasn't been working. Why would you take all that good energy and start putting it into what's kept you stuck, who's kept you stuck, all of these different aspects? Well, because you know what happens there. Like, one can become comfortable in that space because you have somewhat of control of what's going to happen. You understand what's going to happen. Whether or not it's still going to come out of you, whether it's provoked out of you or it just happens to finally come out of you. And I think for some of you, it's about making use of these 3 cups and turning them into pentacles. Speaking about what has happened, maybe talking to a trusted person, a therapist. Maybe it's just about really sharing your thoughts with the world even. Like, if you want to take on more of a speaking role or use that art form, maybe you turn it into art and you share it. Whatever it is, it has value to it, but you have to know that whoever's listening is really listening, right? You want to know that they are. You can't really control that. Sorry. Stay here. Bothered me. But you see, now you're able to see beyond the wall, beyond what has confined you, or what you've allowed to confine you up until this point. Yes, change is uncomfortable. Change can be scary. Conversations that are uncomfortable can be scary because you don't know the outcome. You don't know how someone's going to react. You don't know how someone's going to respond. You may be thinking they're going to respond like how everyone else has responded in your life. And it's really important to acknowledge all of those things and remember that what you're saying is coming from you and truthful. And if it's interesting because it's like, why do I hesitate? You are faced with this decision by the end of the month if you want to continue with what you've asked for and set out to do. And before you get into Virgo season, I would say take this, decision seriously but quickly, because Virgo season will let's get to work, let's get to it, let's hash out the details, and then come Libra season, you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So still, you've learned something. There's nothing wrong with doing all of that. But if you don't, for those Aquariuses that don't want to maybe go through all of that, it's hot, and you want to really propel this forward, it's just like, think about it and make the decision out of your instinct, out of your gut, out of knowing, what's good for you, what's right for you. It doesn't matter if uncomfortable change is important in different areas of your life, but if it's something that is pushing you too far, and maybe you've had some health scares and now you're like, okay, I don't know if I can handle this or my mind can handle this, it's not about overly pushing yourself either. So it's really just about discernment at the end of the month, because you might even have an opportunity that comes to you in this vulnerable time, or someone that comes to you with an offering of love of some sort in this vulnerable time, and for some reason you can't see them, but then they talk and you hear them, and it makes you question and brings in more questioning of which way you should go or which path you should take. Just want to pull. It could be around your moon too. And maybe it's just someone with some wise words, and you listen and you realize that, this season has ended, this time has come. It's time for the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, and you have the 10 of Swords at the end here. Oh, and then we have a 10 of Pentacles on the bottom. Is that these doubts or worries that you have also need to be allowed the space to be acknowledged, but put to rest if you want to build a different kind of life. Because it doesn't get built on its own. No, it can be dreamt, and you have to participate in the dreaming and the hashing out the details, of course. But you also want to see maybe what comes up naturally, what comes as a good surprise during Virgo season, not just expecting it to come in a specific way, but allowing that change to take place as you're changing, and you're allowing to be yourself to take shape in a different way. This has started a long time ago, this process, and now it's coming to a full circle. It's coming to a shift, a change, because Aquarius has finally been given a moment, but Leo season's still going to shine brightly on certain aspects of your life. And what comes forward are things that relationally are going to be addressed for a while. So if you need more time, and you know that you do, take it. Don't just move on to the next thing because you think you're supposed to do that, or you think you have some pressure on you. Especially if it's, not that I would take anyone away from school, but if it's academically and you just need a break, or you need to step back to see where you're at, or this job opportunity presents itself and you just, you want to do it, but can you do it in a way that you can deal with maybe the overwhelm? Because it's an amazing opportunity that comes your way and asks you to move beyond the wall. And for a lot of you, I feel like you're going to want to take it, and I would say go for it, because it's promising. It's a promising path to certain things that you may have not thought of to desire, and the desire and the honesty and the truth of what you really require in this life comes to light. And it looks to some people a certain way, and it looks to you a certain way. And you want to begin to build those values in that specific certain way that you do, because it also requires this knowing that what you have to say, what you have to give, what you have to experience is also worth it. It's valuable. It's not without or to be taken for granted, even by you. And it kind of dissipates any of what's been holding you back from moving, from going. And if you have been wondering, it's coming, it's here. You probably have maybe the easiest month or the smoothest month, if you're not in your head too much. Definitely, get in your body in different ways. It doesn't just have to be like exercising or working out, but allow yourself to process everything. That's why I don't want to pull anymore. Processing what's been happening, because things will feel like, it's almost like you feel the gear turn by the end of the month. You really feel that fixed energy shift, because this is a fixed month, so it's very much focused on this one thing that happens to be the most compelling and obvious in your life right now to you. If you need to vocalize certain things to people around you, don't do too much, because I feel like it will get you more into a space that you may not be ready to talk about, whatever that is. But also remember that what's keeping you, and it's, this isn't always easy to describe to you, because you guys are very out there, but you're also comfort creatures in a lot of ways as well. You can go places in your mind, no problem, at your own expense or whenever you feel comfortable. But in terms of physical change, it can be very overwhelming. And this is relational change. This is in the same sense, it is physical change, because it can change the way you move in the world moving forward, depending on what it is that you decide to follow through with, and especially with how you want to continue to grow in your life. It's not just about climbing the ladder. Like, how do you want to continue to grow? What does growth look like for you? What does moving forward look like for you in terms of even family and relationally? And there could be someone who really wants this with you but needs communication with you a little bit more. This is you opening up in a different way. This Venus retrograde is going to do that, and you're going to see where maybe some of your shortcomings are, where maybe some of theirs are. And this doesn't just have to deal with people, you know, this could be also in like your workspace. I put some stuff in my hair so it feels really good. And we'll get more into that into the second part, which is in the link below. I hope you have a great Leo season. I hope it's not too hot, or that you're staying cool. And all information is below. We'll see you there.